The primary objective in the game of basketball is simply to make that orange ball go right through that net. And two of the very best ever at doing this are Michael Jeffrey Jordan and Kevin Durant. But wait, you might be wondering, well damn, who was better? That's what this video is for. Let's get it.
Batman, 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 what? Batman, Batman, yeah. Batman, yeah. Batman, yeah. Batman, Batman, hey, Batman, Batman, what? Mr. Never use a gap, man. Yeah. Never turn like a Batman.
Now before we go ahead and get up into the vid where I spit the hoops gospel, make sure you guys stop what you're doing and follow me on all these social media platforms, and definitely tune into the podcast. So with that out of the way, who's the better scorer, Michael Jordan or Kevin Durant? This is a topic that is talked about and discussed constantly within the NBA world or realm, and especially among fans and the media members. So I figured I may as well break it down and decide who the better scorer is. Now, in terms of breaking down these two great scorers of NBA history, I'll be breaking it down in the following categories: scoring dominance, or just the volume in general; skill set and versatility; the physical tools or gifts that they possess; efficiency; clutch; playoff rising; and their ability to draw fouls. Now keep in mind, before we start this comparison, neither one of these players are slouches. They are both among the very best. Now first, let's take a look at scoring dominance. And the first way we can do this is looking at their scoring feats. Now go ahead and take a look at that screen if you don't mind. Scoring titles: MJ wins 10-4. Both have 12 25-point per game seasons. Michael Jordan's got 8 30-point per game seasons, only to KD's 2. Michael Jordan has 12 30-point per game playoff runs to KD's 3. And Michael Jordan led the entire playoffs in scoring 8 times compared to KD's 5. Now this is a completely fair comparison because Michael Jordan only played 13 seasons with the Bulls, and KD just finished his 14th year in the NBA. So there is no discrediting Michael Jordan's feats simply because he's played more time. Now if you take a look at the screen once again, let's take a look at who is the more dominant scorer in their career. Michael Jordan had 562 30-point games compared to Kevin Durant, who only had 314. My man MJ handed out 173 40 pieces compared to KD, who only had 58 in his career. And on top of that, MJ had 31 50-point games to KD's 6. And my man KD has never had a 60-point game in his life. MJ has had 4 such games. So in terms of dominance at scoring the basketball, I mean, MJ is just pretty damn clear. It's not really that close at all, to be fair to KD. But, I mean, what else can be said? Now let's move on to the playoffs. Now, playoff rising is a real thing. Some players simply score more or get better in the playoffs. And Kevin Durant and Michael Jordan are two such players. Now let's go ahead and take a look at their increase from the regular season to the playoffs. In terms of playoff points per game, Michael Jordan dropped 33.4 points per game in the playoffs compared to 30.1 in the regular season, which is a 3.3 increase. And let's compare that to Kevin Durant, who dropped 29.5 points per game in the playoffs. However, that's only a 2.5 increase. So check for MJ. Highest scoring series with a minimum of 4 games played. Michael Jordan had a series dropping 45.2. Kevin Durant's highest was 35.4. So, once again, check for MJ. 30-point per game playoff series. Well, Michael Jordan had 28 playoff series in which he averaged at least 30, compared to Kevin Durant, who only had 11. Now let's go ahead and move on to playoff series in which they shot at least 50% from the floor. Michael Jordan has 17 such series in which he shot at least 50%, compared to KD, who only had 13. And when it comes to 40-point per game playoff series, my guy MJ has 5 of those, compared to Kevin Durant, who has never done that in his entire life. KD has never dropped 40 for an entire playoff series like MJ, who's done it 5 times. So in terms of rising in the playoffs, that's another category that MJ wins. Now let's go ahead and move on to the clutch. And if you were thinking that, hey, maybe KD might win this category, nah, you was wrong. Now, when looking at both players, when they were in their absolute peak or apex, which was around 1989 to 1993 for MJ, and 2014 and 2018 for Kevin Durant, let's take a look at what the NBA defines as clutch, and then let's compare how both players performed under each situation. Now, the final 5 minutes of a close playoff game, Michael Jordan attempted 148 shots in this situation. He shot 51.4% in this situation. If you compare that to KD, he shot only 42% in said situation. Now, you might be thinking, oh, last 5 minutes, that's not clutch. Whatever. Let's go ahead and look at the last 2 minutes. Michael Jordan shot 56.1% in that situation compared to KD, who was 30.8%. And if you want to look at something like buzzer beaters, Michael Jordan has 2 buzzer beaters to end a playoff series in his career compared to KD, who's got, hold on, let me do my paperwork right quick, 0. Moving on. And you're probably thinking, well, damn, you know, is KD gonna win one? Yeah, here you go. Efficiency, peak comparison. So KD from 14 to 18 compared to Jordan from 89 to 93. KD wins in literally every single efficiency category with the exception of field goal percentage. But as we know, effective field goal percentage and true shooting percentage are far greater measurements of efficiency. But this should come as a surprise to pretty much no one. As we know, Kevin Durant is one of the most efficient scorers we've ever seen. He's great from 3, from the free throw line, inside, mid-range, you name it, and he's pretty damn good at it. He's a borderline 50-40-90 guy for his career. He shoots about 49% from the field, 38 from 3, and about 88 from the free throw line. So in terms of efficiency, once again, KD actually stomps in this category. Now, next up, we're going to be talking about their bag. And what I mean by bag is basically their skill set. Kevin Durant is 7 feet tall, who can literally dribble like a small guard, can literally shoot from everywhere, and is effective from everywhere. Whereas when you look at someone like Michael Jordan, he was effective at what he did. He was probably the best mid-range scorer ever, who had elite footwork, an elite post game, great at the free throw line, and amazing at the basket. I mean, that's pretty much what he's known for. But in terms of skill set, I will have to give a slight edge to Kevin Durant simply because of the three-point shooting. MJ was not a bad three-point shooter in his prime. He was terrible in the 80s, got better in the 90s, but Kevin Durant is just simply elite from the three-point line compared to Michael Jordan. So in that sense, skill set, bag, whatever you want to call it, Kevin Durant does have the edge in this category. Now, in terms of physical tools or gifts, Michael Jordan was the far more physical player. He was stronger, much more built, could lift more. In fact, Kevin Durant coming out of the combine couldn't even lift his own weight. Now, yes, I acknowledge that Kevin Durant has definitely gotten stronger since then, but strength has never been a strong suit for KD. Versus Michael Jordan, who was literally known for taking contact and banging down low using his physicality. In terms of leaping ability, it's really not a contest. Michael Jordan had a vertical of 46 inches, which is 3rd most all-time behind only David Griffith and Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, he was pretty much known for jumping. We haven't seen anything quite like Mike in the air. In terms of length and wingspan, however, obviously Kevin Durant has the edge here. My man's is literally like 7 feet tall, and he has a 7'6" wingspan, which is, I believe, the longest in the entire NBA. Now, these two working together is particularly what makes Kevin Durant such an unguardable opponent. He can pretty much just shoot over anybody. But in terms of the overall physical tools that both of them have, the edge has to go to Michael Jordan here. He's stronger, he's faster, and he jumped higher than KD. So that is another category that MJ wins. Now, in terms of ability to draw fouls, yet again, Michael Jordan takes this category as well. At least 9 times in MJ's career, he averaged at least 8 attempts per game, compared to Kevin Durant, who's only done this 4 times. Michael's career high for free throws attempted per game was 11.9 compared to Kevin Durant's, who was 10.2. So, like I said, the last category, which is drawing fouls, Michael Jordan simply had the edge. Now, in conclusion, and I mean, you probably should have saw this coming, Michael Jeffrey Jordan is the better scorer between these two. And yes, Michael Jordan is the best scorer in NBA history. Really hope this doesn't hurt your feelings. This is no slight at Kevin Durant. He is definitely one of the best ever, but the edge goes to Michael Jordan. Now, with that out of the way, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Definitely leave a comment down below. And with that out of the way, A1 Hoops signing off.